The same chip that renders Fortnite is training robots to think. The heart of your gaming setup, your GPU, comes from arcades in the 70s. Back then, graphics were fixed function, meaning that everything that you saw on the screen was hard-coded into hardware. If the chip was built to draw a circle, it could draw a circle. If it was built to move a sprite left and right, it could do that. But just that. There was no concept of calculating graphics at this point. Now let's say we wanted to switch it up. We wanted to draw 3D scenes instead. To do this, we're going to have to calculate millions of tiny math operations. Basically all linear algebra, stuff like projections or rotations of objects. We could try using a central processing unit, but that's like asking Einstein to do simple multiplication questions thousands of times. Even though he's smart, it doesn't mean he's fast. We could also use the good old fixed function graphics, which a lot of consoles did do in the 90s, but honestly, it's too restricting and it's not flexible enough. Looks like we need to invent something. Hello, my name is NVIDIA in 1999, and I'm going to make the first graphics processing unit. Now everything works in parallel. We have a fire graphics pipeline, but it's still fixed function. Then just 1 year later, Microsoft's DirectX team changes the whole model. They think fixed function is pretty lame, so they slap it on the face. Let's insert tiny pieces of code called shaders to run directly on the GPU. Now graphics are actually programmable, not just configurable. Instead of the hardware deciding how vertices and pixels should look, you get to write the math yourself. Hi guys, it's NVIDIA again, and this time it's 2001. Good job, Microsoft. Let's add support for this on our latest GPU, the GeForce 3. GPUs are now both parallelizable and customizable. Finally, we can make 3D games with much more unique graphics, and it's way more flexible. Remember when I said that a shader is just a tiny math program that runs across thousands of cores at the same time? Well, that's exactly what we need for physics simulations, weather simulations, and any scientific computation. Suddenly, people started hacking GPUs for non-graphics tasks. NVIDIA said, okay, that's enough playing around, and they released CUDA in 2007, a tool that lets you run any code on a GPU, not just graphics. Fast forward to 2012, a deep convolutional neural network called AlexNet gets trained on 2 GPUs. They leverage CUDA, destroy every computer vision benchmark, and kickstart the AI revolution. After that paper, every major breakthrough, BGG, ResNet, Transformers, ChatGPT, was run on NVIDIA's GPUs. This cut down training time from months to days to sometimes even hours. At this point, the GPU wasn't a graphics card anymore. It was the engine powering the entire AI industry. Because the architecture built for video games turned out to be the perfect architecture for artificial intelligence. Like and follow for more crappy content.